Here's a movement to explore releasing some tension through the hip flexors and the front of the thighs. Oftentimes we feel like we want to stretch out the thighs when we do a lot of sitting or a lot of physical activity. And so this movement here is going to support us in not only feeling release through the front of the hips and thighs, but also a sense of strength and balance. So all you'll need for this practice is a folded blanket. You could use a bath towel, that would work as well. And I just folded it into a square shape. And then you'll lie down on the floor, and you can have something under your head if you like. I prefer to do this with my head flat on the floor. Once you lie down, we're going to lift the hips up and place the folded blanket underneath the pelvis. So the blanket itself is not on the lumbar spine, not at the lower back. It's just a little below the waistband, and it supports your pelvis. And then your head will just be relaxed and neutral. Now, if you do find here that your chin or your nose start to point up towards the sky, then you might need a small, thin folded blanket under your head as well. You can just rest your hands on your torso for a moment. Have your feet standing on the floor, knees up to the sky. And this movement in and of itself is just wonderful to start to down-regulate your system, to tune back into your body, to feel the breath as it moves through the torso. It's really nice to take a moment or so initially before movement just to relax, tune into your body and your breath. Okay, so then we're going to keep the left foot where it is on the floor. Raise the right foot off the floor so your knee points towards the sky is fine. And take your right hand to the base of your front of your right thigh here, making sure you're not tensing in the right shoulder as you do that. And then just gently press your leg into your hand and your hand into your leg. Again, being mindful that the right shoulder stays relaxed here. So you're creating a bit of contraction through the front of the thigh and the hip flexor in the front of the hip. And continue to just breathe easy here. Relax your jaw, your neck. So you're holding this contraction for a few breaths. And then release your hand, take your leg and stretch it out along the floor so the heel comes down. And just gently press the heel slightly into the floor just to feel a little bit of length coming through the leg. And then to bring your leg back in, I suggest that you slide your heel in so your right foot comes back to standing. And then we'll repeat that twice more on the same side. Right knee comes in, right hand to the base front of the right thigh. Pressing leg against hand, being mindful of your right shoulder relaxed. Relax neck and jaw. And again, feeling some nice work through the front of the right hip, maybe in the thigh. Maybe you feel a little in your abdomen as well. Continue to breathe. And then slowly stretch the leg out. Bring the legs down to the floor. Now the knee does not have to be totally straight here. We don't want to lock the knee or hyperextend the knee, so just pressing the right heel into the floor a little bit. You might feel some length coming across the front of the right thigh or hip. And then again, slide the right foot back so the sole of the foot is on the floor. And then one more time, bring the knee in, hand to the base of the front of the thigh. Press the leg into the hand. Notice if there's any gripping around the back of the shoulders or the lower back, or neck or jaw. See if you can just tune into the contraction here as you're breathing. Really vital that the breath continues as we move. And so you might be feeling a little jumpiness or a little shakiness through the front of the hip. That's fine. And then release your hand, slide the right leg to the floor again without locking the knee. Just gently press the right heel down into the floor a little bit. Breathe easy. And then sliding the right foot back to the floor once again. So you might take a moment here before we do the left side just to notice if you can sense anything change through the right hip, the right side of the right leg, or the right side of the torso. And then we'll keep the right foot on the floor now, second side here, bringing the knee up, left hand to the base of the front of the thigh. Check in with your left shoulder. Pressing leg against hand, hand against leg. Remembering that when we're moving with a sense of exploration rather than trying to get something done quickly or to just get through the movement, but really noticing how your body is as you're present to the movement. Now your shin here, the left shin and foot, could relax down if that feels better. Or you could keep the shin more parallel to the floor. All right, and then release your hand, slide the left leg out, again, not locking the knee, pressing just gently through the left heel. Breathe. It's not like we're trying to get a big stretch here through the front of the left hip, but we're just creating an opposite sensation from the contraction. And then sliding the left foot so the sole of the foot comes back to the floor. Let's do that again. Left hand, base of the left thigh here. Pressing leg into hand, hand into leg. If you tend to press really hard, just try to back off a little. So you do about 70% of your maximum effort, or even 60%. Like a little less is fine. Tuning into the back, excuse me, the back of your shoulders, jaw, eyes soft, and breath flowing. And then slowly lower the leg, straighten the leg some, heel gently presses into the floor, easy breathing. All right, and then last one here, bring the left knee in, hand to the front of the thigh here, press leg into hand, hand into leg, mindful that left shoulder is soft and easy. If you feel bracing or tension arising, just noticing that. Can there be a softness to your approach? I have my right hand right on my solar plexus here, the mid-torso, just to remind myself to breathe softly. Okay, and then left leg extends, heel comes down. Feel the length through the front of the left hip here. Sliding the left foot, so the sole of the foot is back in the center now. Just take a moment, hands to the lower ribs. Just take a few breaths, noticing what you feel through your through the front of your hips, your lower back, the front of your thighs. And then we'll slowly lift the bum up a little bit, slide your blanket out from behind you. Now you can either stay here for a moment with your feet on the floor, or you can try stretching your legs out, just noticing sensations through the body as you pause and reflect from your movement here today. And when you feel ready, bending your knees and rolling to the side. I always recommend rolling to the side when you come up away from a lying position. It just helps your body stay in that relaxed pace. Your hands pressing down into the floor. And then bringing yourself back up to move on with the rest of your day. Enjoy this exploration.